Have you ever grappled with the question, to act or not to act? In the heart of the Bhagavad Gita, nestled within Chapter 3, we find Arjuna, a mighty warrior, wrestling with this very question. On the brink of an epic battle, he finds himself paralyzed by a moral dilemma. His opponents are not just any adversaries but his own kin, his teachers, relationships that he holds dear. The battlefield here isn't merely a physical one, it's a metaphoric representation of the inner conflicts we all face. Arjuna is every one of us, standing at the crossroads of duty and righteousness, grappling with the paradox of action and inaction. Arjuna's confusion and reluctance to fight echoes the sentiments of many of us when we are faced with challenging decisions. The fear of causing harm, the dread of transgressing moral boundaries, and the weight of consequences often leave us in a state of inaction, wrestling with our duties and our values. And here enters Krishna, his charioteer, his guide, his friend. Krishna, who sees Arjuna's turmoil, steps in not as a divine entity, but as a voice of wisdom and guidance. His words to Arjuna form the crux of the Bhagavad Gita, a timeless manual for life. Krishna introduces the concept of duty or dharma as a central theme. He explains that each of us has a role to play, a duty to perform without attachment to the outcome. Karma yoga, or the path of selfless action, he suggests, is the way to resolve the dilemma of action and inaction. Arjuna's predicament and Krishna's counsel set the stage for a profound exploration of the human condition. It begins a dialogue that transcends the battlefield of Kurukshetra, reaching into the hearts and minds of seekers for centuries. It speaks to our inner Arjuna, urging us to confront our dilemmas, to act with wisdom and righteousness. Let's delve deeper into Krishna's words to Arjuna, where he unravels the mysteries of action and inaction. What if you had a wise mentor guiding you through your dilemmas? Imagine having someone who, with the stroke of a few words, can illuminate the dark corridors of confusion. Such was the wisdom of Krishna, the divine guide to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. In the throes of a great war, Arjuna stood paralyzed, torn between duty and kinship. It was in this moment of despair that Krishna imparted his profound teachings. Krishna explained the concept of duty or dharma, and how it is essential to the fabric of life. He urged Arjuna to fulfill his duty as a warrior, not out of desire for victory, but because it was his rightful role in the grand design of the universe. But what about the fear of consequences, you might wonder? This is where Krishna introduced the concept of karma yoga, or the path of selfless action. Krishna taught Arjuna that actions performed without attachment to the fruits of labor are truly liberating. Actions, when performed with a sense of duty and not with an eye on the rewards, free one from the cycle of cause and effect, the eternal wheel of karma. Krishna's teachings were not just about fulfilling duties, they were also about understanding the nature of action and inaction. He explained that even in inaction there is action, and in apparent action there could be inaction. This idea can be understood as the difference between being physically inactive but mentally active, and being physically active but mentally detached. The latter is the state of a karma yogi, one who is engaged in action yet remains unbound by its outcomes. Krishna's wisdom transcends time and context. It is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It provides a compass to navigate the complexities of life, pushing us to perform our roles with dedication, without getting entangled in the web of desires and expectations. Krishna's teachings reveal that the path to peace and fulfillment lies in performing one's duties without desire for rewards. This is the wisdom of Krishna, a beacon of light in the murky waters of dilemma and doubt. How can ancient wisdom help us navigate modern life? This question underpins our exploration of the Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 3. This chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is a masterclass on duty and selfless action, two concepts that remain as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. In this chapter, Lord Krishna imparts his wisdom to the warrior prince, Arjuna, who is riddled with doubt and apprehension. Krishna advises Arjuna that duty, or dharma, should not be shirked. Each one of us has a role to play in the grand scheme of life. Whether we are students, professionals, parents, or leaders, we have responsibilities that we must fulfill. Krishna further emphasizes that actions should be performed without attachment to results. This is the concept of nishkam karma, or selfless action. You see, often our joy or sorrow is tied to the outcome of our actions. We are elated when things go our way and despondent when they don't. But Krishna teaches us to detach ourselves from these outcomes. Instead, we should find fulfillment in the action itself, in the process, in the journey. This doesn't mean we should not strive for success or shy away from setting goals. It simply suggests that we should not let the results govern our happiness or self-worth. Krishna also introduces the path to liberation or moksha. He speaks of the eternal soul, the Atman, which is beyond the physical body and the material world. By realizing our true nature as the Atman and by performing our duties selflessly, we can attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death. These teachings from Bhagavad Gita Chapter 3 offer timeless wisdom. They remind us to perform our duties diligently, to act without being bound by the fruits of our actions, and to seek liberation by realizing our true self. This then is the essence of Chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, a guide to living a fulfilled and content life regardless of the challenges we face. As Krishna guided Arjuna, may these teachings guide us on our journey. What can we take away from this ancient wisdom? As we delve deeper into the profound teachings of the Bhagavad Gita's 3rd chapter, we're reminded of the timeless value of wisdom. This wisdom isn't merely about understanding philosophical concepts, but about living them, experiencing them, in the fabric of our daily lives. Krishna's teachings are not about dictating actions, but about illuminating the path to enlightened action. They instill in us the importance of performing our duties not out of obligation but out of a sense of selfless service. This, in essence, is the power of selfless action, but how do we apply this wisdom? We start by reflecting on our actions, understanding their true nature, and aligning them with our purpose. We strive not for the fruits of our actions, but for the fulfillment that comes from doing our duty with devotion and integrity. In the end, it is not about choosing between action and inaction but understanding the true nature of action as taught by Krishna to Arjuna.